Greetings and gratitude. In the second video of my 4-part intro video series, I will lay out my tentative roadmap. Previously, I first explained what my endeavor is about and why I'm doing it. In the following videos, I will thirdly preemptively answer a few questions that may or may not pop up. Fourthly, I will explain what I think these videos add to the conversations that they join. I have selected a year's worth of songs and assigned each one a potential day I'll be posting them. This roughly pre-planned schedule will provide some stability to the endeavor that would otherwise be subject to the volatilities of life, the universe, and everything. However, if you have a song that you'd like to suggest I check out, leave them in the comments below, and I might include them in double or triple features. Which brings me to the schedule itself. All this is subject to change, especially if there are copyright issues or health issues, but this is the plan as of now. Each day of the week has a different theme. Fridays are my main assorted artist days, when I look at a wider variety of songs different from the ones I typically cover on the other days, with no artist usually repeated more than twice-ish. Fridays are the days I feature your recommendations as well. So even if you cannot stand the lineup I have the other days, you can still check out my Fridays each week in case you like the pre-planned songs or the recommended songs I add to those days. Sundays are also an assorted artist day, though there will be more repetition, with all the songs being Christian specific. I keep these videos judgment-free. Truly, I do not believe it is our place to force our beliefs on others. Instead, I'll be concentrating on my personal wrestling matches over existential themes that surface from my experience of complex chronic illness, aside from the lyric analysis, of course. Any Christian song suggestions you share may be featured on these days. Mondays are a mix. I alternate between series of 5 or 6 songs from a single artist and a series of about 6 songs or pairings from musicals so far. The musicals lineup is looking like it might change depending on some logistics, so Mondays are a little bit more up in the air for now, but I still have a plan there. The remainder of the days involves a limited number of artists to really delve into their discographies. I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce that. I made this decision primarily for 3 reasons. One, and most probably the one that's most relevant to you, is eventually being able to connect threads across multiple songs of the same artist. 2, it was easier for me to coordinate since I read through the artist's lyrics as though I'm reading a poetry chapbook. 3, it gives me an opportunity as a writer and as an editor to deep dive into the lyrics of established artists, studying what works and how, etc. To that end, Saturdays are going to be for the artist Sleeping at Last. This artist actually has a really cool podcast delving into the songs behind the scenes. I highly recommend checking out and supporting the artist by checking out Sleeping at Last's podcast, which I've linked below. Directly to Sleeping at Last's website. Because this artist covers those behind the scenes, I will focus more on these days on the impacts of the songs more than the constructs, again, since the artist directly provides this type of information. Tuesdays are for the artist Imagine Dragons. They have a lengthy, diverse discography to explore, and I'll probably pick an overarching technique or theme to talk about per song. Wednesdays switch between the artists Jars of Clay, Citizen Soldier, Disturbed, and Breaking Benjamin. There's a vibe there. Thursdays switch between the artists Ren, Sleep Token, and NF. Either in these posts, interviews, or lyrics, these artists have reflected on the impact their pieces make directly on their audiences. They are also masterful lyricists whose command over the language I really admire and learn a lot from. Very rarely do the songs in these videos contain explicit language. This is a personal preference. I put a clear disclaimer on the exceptions, and when going over the lyrics that have explicit language, I do not say those specific words. Again, a personal preference. That wraps up this section. Thanks for listening, and farewell and fulfillment.